Hi Sagittarius, how are you feeling? If you ever stay up late very night, or if you're overthinking things, or you're just going through something, I created this bonus reading for you to take your mind off of things by taking you through a voyage using the Voyager Tarot. Right? And so this is going to be a series called Bonus Tarot. And the way I designed it is what I'd like to call it is the WWH WWW, which is what, why, how, who, where, and when. Okay? So mainly we're going to be choosing 6 cards and in the order that I said. And so they're going to explore what are you feeling right now? Why are you feeling like that? How to move forward? Who is going to help you? Where will you find it? And when will it manifest? It's the what, why, how, who, where, when, WWH, WWW. All right, so this is like a spread that I created. It usually helps me whenever I'm overthinking things or whenever I just need to go on a mental voyage. All right, I hope it's going to do the same for you. With these type of readings, there's no timestamp, right? So you can always, whenever you do land on this video or another one of these bonuses, there lies your answer. All right, so let's begin. I went ahead and shuffled your cards. I'm gonna start picking cards. So let's see. What are you feeling right now? What are you feeling right now? Okay. 10 of Wands in reverse, which is growth, but in reverse. And so what you're feeling right now is that you're not growing enough. You are not growing as fast as you want. The road ahead seems to be way too hard, way too slow, way too tough, right? And so this is what I call a faith crisis or crisis of faith. Is like whenever the initial what do you call it, like the initial passion or the initial fuel or the initial jump or the initial excitement wears off, and we find ourselves with a long tedious road ahead of us with no results guaranteed, and then we start questioning things like, am I doing the right thing? What am I doing? Is this doing anything? Why don't I see growth? So this is a complete crisis faith, right? So yeah, because when the card is not reversed, you see like from the dead woods, from the dead hands, you see this dead hand and there's a baby's hand, and so like there's like dead wood and there's also like flowers blossoming. So it's like growth, and also like this says from dead things are born beautiful things, which is a message of hope actually and a message of faith. Like even when it's reversed, we can think of it like that. Like if we don't want to feel that way, we have got to hold on to faith, right? And think of this no growth period as a dead period, and from that death, from that end, beautiful things will come. This is sort of like in winter where a lot of plants that are not green all year round, they die and they wither. And so if you look at them, you'll see they're completely dead. You don't know that they'll ever blossom again, and then come spring and then they'll blossom. So I don't know, we didn't get to the when part, but maybe this is telling me that maybe in spring things are going to pan out for you. I know it's a long way from now. I feel you. It's not cute. It's not cute at all when we feel like that. And we have a faith crisis. But yeah, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Let's all hang on to that ray of light, y'all. Let's all hang on to it. So, why are you feeling like that? Let's see, Sagittarius. Why are you feeling like that? Because of the Five of Wands or oppression. Interesting. So, this can be interpreted in like two ways, like right ahead. So this is either an actual oppression, okay, or an oppression that you think is happening to you, but maybe it's not. So you might think that the system is rigged, the system is against you, life is against you, society is against you, everything is not programmed for your success or growth. It sort of favors others, life is not fair. You know, the works, right? And so while this might be just your perspective, or it might be true in this case, we're not gonna know right now because we need to like continue, you know, our spread. And this is a bonus spread where we just try to navel gaze. We're not gonna clarify cards in order to find solutions, because the whole point is just take our mind off and just go on a voyage of questions and ideas, right? And so this totally validates, you know, your lack of growth. Like this is exactly sort of like the exact excuse for you to lose faith and to go through a crisis of faith, is to feel victimized and to convince yourself that you are a victim of your time, you are a victim of society, you are a victim of the system. Oh, poor you. It's so easy, it's comfortable to feel self-pity sometimes, you know, but it's not gonna help you. It is not gonna help you. It's only going to chain you up even more. And while it might seem, you know, like things are going against you, remember the Five of Wands in the tarot is all about, like in the traditional tarot, not in this one, the Rider-Waite, it's all about like, not theater, but like it's a lot of, you know, arguments and people fighting, whatever, but it's not like deep, right? It's not like to the core, it's sort of like surface level. And so even if things are true, let's say, like, this is not the real hurdle. That's what I was like pointing at, okay? So let's see how to move forward from all of this. Universe, please help us, Sagittarius. Please help us to see a way forward. We ask you in kindness. Achiever. Man of Worlds, which is Pentacles in the traditional tarot. Achiever. So the way to move forward is perseverance, right? Because all these like athletes or scientists or celebrities or like anyone who, you know, put their imprint to the world, they were achievers. They were even like overachievers. And how do you do that? By persevering, by committing, by continuing the hard course, even when things get tough, even when you're faithless, even when you're desperate, you know? Yeah. You know, there's a Colosseum, which means like fight your way. I don't know if this is supposedly that would be Saturn. I don't know, maybe, not sure, but it would be, because like, I mean, Saturn usually means like overcoming hardships through, you know, lessons, and eventually it always bear fruits, but you need to like, you know, put in the work. And so, yeah. So achieving. So which tells me, okay, so whatever you're doing right here, whatever you started, you remember the magic we talked about in the previous readings and how you had those seeds and you were feeling tapped in and connected and blessed and aligned, and you started these things and you're starting to change your life. And then we went with this week, which is sort of like a transition week where you finish all your to-do list, you finish everything belonging to the old era, so you can start the new, so you can focus more on the new era, right? And remember all that. And so whatever you started here, you're impatient, you're like not finding enough growth enough fast. And why is that? Because remember, like, although you started what you started, like maybe this week or last week, right, recently, it took you so many years or ages or even decades or whatever to make that decision. And so that's why it's natural for you to feel impatient, because you feel as if you wanted it yesterday, right? Like TikTok, time is ticking, all of that. Because this is not something that like you just thought of right now and you just started it. And so, you have all the time in the world to try it out. And so you feel that it's easier for you whenever you're going through a crisis phase to play the oppressed card and say the system is rigged, life is not fair, it favors the privilege, or you're gonna have like money to make money, or you're gonna be famous to be famous, or you're gonna I don't know what, I don't know, like all these things, right? Or you're gonna be I don't know what, have a quality to be in a like happy relationship, blah, yada yada yada, right? We're not gonna go through all the list, but like still, so you're giving yourself excuses to feel, to wallow in your misery, and so this card, which tells me how to move forward, this is telling you like, just do it, even if it feels like shit. So this is like not being in denial and like burying your feelings like down to the subconscious, saying like, oh, I'm happy, or like just chant shit and saying like, oh, I'm gonna make it, while you feel like shit. No, this is actually like feeling like shit and still doing it, right? So this is like an athlete or like a bodybuilder who's like sore but still going at it, someone who like twisted their ankle but they're still running, someone who's sick, hospitalized, poor, whatever you want to call it, and they still working on their invention, etc. That means like, even if circumstances are shitty, you accept that they're shitty, you wallow in their shittiness, you shout from the rooftops how shitty they are, but you still show up. This is about showing up. You still show up for your goals. You can vent about them, you can call all your friends and bitch about them, you can like bitch about them to the world, you can scream at people, you can, however you want to deal with it. You can do boxing, you can channel it, you can actually channel it into your body and like self-destroy yourself. Don't do that, but like, that's what I'm saying, like stress the fuck out, lose your hair, whatever, right? But still show up, because this is the only way forward from this. Because otherwise, think about it this way, as much as this is painful, physically, mentally, emotionally, and all that, this is even more destructive, and this is even more painful. It's better to achieve through pain than just wallow in pain and play victim, and destroy yourself at all levels, right? At least in both of these pains, here there's a reward waiting for you. Here there's no reward, there's just comfort in misery. Here there is a reward. The reward might not be the growth you wanted, because life isn't always perfect, but at least there's something that you're gonna get out of it. Maybe pride, maybe feeling like you gave it your best, etc. Here you're never gonna be like, oh, I feel amazing that I was just like wallowing in my own shit and I didn't do anything, right? So yeah, let's continue. Which brings us to the who is going to help you. Well, me, of course. But still, and the universe. And let's see who else. Could be you, could be other people, could be a situation. Let's see. Feeder, Child of Cups. So this is the Page of Cups, like a new opportunity. Okay, so who is going to help you? This can be many things. Okay, so we're gonna attack them one at a time. This could be your inner child. And so you need to feed him, which means whenever things do get very tough, don't take life too seriously. Don't take yourself too seriously. Go out there and play. Just be silly. Just let go. You never know how the answer to you like comes or how things unfold. Just go out and play, right? Just be a child. Or this could be if you have children or if you love kids or etc., being around them will help you connect with your inner child. And so whatever I said before, also that. Or they may help you realize something like that. Okay? And so maybe also this would be like a reverse role in terms of like you're feeding, feeder, same for me. This is not to be feeler, not feeder, by the way, but like it's the same because, you know, feeling something is like feeding, nurturing them, feeding them emotionally even. So that works too. And so this could be like you playing the role as well, like you caring for a child, you loving a child, or you nurturing your inner child by playing, etc. Right? So something to do with like that innocent love and that love for play and that like, you know, like remember like the card that you got, that mermaid, that visualization in like your dailies. I don't know if you watch your dailies, please do. And so it was all about like finding the magic in the mundane again and looking at things through the eyes of a child. And so yeah, that is who is going to help you, which means let's go over. Every time I'm gonna pull a card, we're gonna go over them like just quickly. You're not seeing growth enough. Remember, this is the dead season where beautiful things bloom. Do not wallow in your misery. Do not play victim. Do not think like that failure is a good comfort zone. It's better to have pain and achieve than pain in a comfort zone, right? And so use that pain to achieve more, but at the same time, don't kill yourself doing it, right? Because even like achievers and overachievers, sometimes they hit a snag, they hit a plateau. So whenever you're pushing yourself hard and hard and hard and hard, maybe you're finding a little bit of changes, but like it's not something major. Just, yeah, take a pause. But here we're not gonna be like, oh, meditate or navel gaze or whatever. Just play around, right? Be silly. So sometimes when you play around, you disconnect and you recharge and you find out that whatever that was doesn't matter anymore. Sometimes maybe the act that you did, the actual play or game, whatever, is going to give you an idea. Sometimes that thing that you did is actually going to play out and, you know, achieve your goal. You don't know how this will play out. What matters is like to focus on your feelings and on nurturing that inner child of yours. Now let's see, where will you find that? Where will you find that, Sagittarius? Where will we find that, Sagittarius? Great. Just when you think everything is aligned, the universe throws us the Six of Crystals, confusion. I love you, universe. So where will you find it? Confusion. Which means it doesn't mean you're not gonna find it, but it means that in the most unlikely places, which will even confuse you even more. So you see here, like you can see like a crystal, like this is the Six of Crystals, which would be like the Six of Swords, where you're blindfolded and you cannot see anything and you have to, you know, walk blindly and trust faith the process. That was like in your, maybe I think in your like monthly in October, that card. And so look, like under this crystal, when it's cracked, there's like lightning And so clarity is like inside all these crystals, but we cannot just access it. We're like just confused. We're seeing the surface of things. And so where will you find it? In the most unexpected places. And this is why probably, look, even the similarity in like visuals and colors. This is why probably it was like, who is going to help you? It was the inner child. Because in the inner child world, a lot of things don't make sense for us as adults, so we don't bother looking there. You know, when you're a child, you imagine all sorts of things, like dragons and monsters under your bed, and like things flying, and castles, and I don't know what, and you know, and you look at things even like that we adults look at like normal, like a cup or a mug or like a chair, whatever. You look at them as a fortress, and so everything becomes magical when you're a child. And that's why like you were asked to like play with a child, or play, or like feed your inner child and let him play as well, because through those eyes and through that experience, you will stumble upon something that is genius, clarity, right? A strike of lightning, clarity. Yeah, that light bulb. So it's going to come as a surprise, which is hard when you're having a crisis, a faith crisis, because you're usually like swimming in that energy of like, oh, nothing's going to happen. I don't think that something's going to happen. Like, what? You know, you will. And now, drum rolls. When will it manifest? That's the last W, yo. That's the last W. When will it manifest? Manifest. Two of Worlds. Reflection. Reversed. And so the Two of Worlds, again, so many like crazy this spread, crazy. And so you see here like in the Two of Worlds, which is like the Two of Pentacles, which is like juggling things, and you know, usually this is like two moons, this is like a mountain, it's a reflection, this is like, so you see all these reflections of light and stuff. And so the fact that we got this one first, like before we talk about the reversal, the fact that we got this card in the position of when will it manifest, we're going to be a little bit metaphysical here. The Two of Worlds, there's like two parallel worlds, and there's not only two, but like in this situation we're going to think of this because there's like infinite worlds. So right now, right this second, there's a billion or an infinite amount of you, like, you know, doing this or doing that, or living this truth or living that because they took another choice, etc. So what this is telling you basically, that what you wanted has already manifested in another world, right? It's just in this world it hasn't yet. And so maybe this will help you to know. And when will it manifest? Well, whenever the two worlds collide. They never collide like all the worlds, right? They just collide at like one, I don't know, like the smallest point in time, where in all these infinite choices, sometimes these two worlds, there's like a common choice that was made, and you just cross and you sort of like see the other side, right? A reflection, a glimpse of what will happen. And so to translate this, like to be less metaphysical in the real world, something will give you a glimpse of success, and that glimpse will bring with it information for you to know when. That's all I'm gonna say right now. Like, because there's not like a real example that I can give you that explain this more. I don't know. I mean, consider yourself doing like, let's say, any activity towards your goals. And then, you know, you're trying like 1,000 times, and one of those times only, let's say you hit the spot, you hit a sweet spot, but it's not like the right amount of spot that will, you know, put you out there on the map. So it's like a little mini victory. And so in one of those mini victories, because the rest you're not going to consider growth, maybe there's like a mini growth. And so in that lies a clue that, like, once you see it, because we cannot like predict it now, once you see it, you're gonna sort of read something, see something, make a connection somewhere, something, and then say, ah, right, so that's gonna take a year, or that's gonna take a month, or that's gonna take 5 years or 10 months. But it's that moment that'll tell you. I'm not saying that like your intuition right now is gonna tell you, because right now this is speaking, and this is not correct. All right, so let's review your cards one more time quickly. What are you feeling? So this is the universe first. What are you feeling right now? Lack of growth. Why are you feeling like that? Because your fears paralyzed you, and you're in a comfort zone of wallowing in your fear and having a, you know, sort of like enjoying that faith crisis. How to move forward? By achieving, embracing the pain, but a pain that will yield results and will give you results, even if it's not the final results. Who is going to help you? Your inner child, or another child, or the eyes of a child. Who? So also it could be, by the way, like, I don't know, it could be someone, because sometimes I'm just gonna like jump right there. I just had a download. Sometimes you might meet a person, an adult, right? You fall in love with them or something else, like, I don't know. And you don't, doesn't always have to be romantic. Like sometimes maybe you just like, I don't know, you spend a day with someone, but like somehow that wakes up the inner child in you, or like they remind you of something related to your child, etc. Okay? So that's who is going to help you. Where will you find it? During those games, during that day that you spend with that stranger, during that playing date that you have with your child, all of these things. And when will it manifest? You'll only know once you see a reflection of that success and how it will manifest. Remember, it's reverse, which means it can go both ways. The when. So this is more about free will rather than fate and destiny. Okay? It already exists in this world, in other worlds. Help manifest it in this world. WWH, WWW. I love you. I hope you enjoyed your bonus track. And yeah, whenever you feel overwhelmed, overthinking, or things are not going, you know, you're not feeling 100%, just check my bonus readings. This is the first one in a series, and they'll take you on a voyage. Sometimes you can travel, sometimes you can do a local trip, and other times you can just do a voyage with me, right? To take your mind off of things and help you see things clearly. So this was Sagittarius Tarot. Thank you for liking my videos. Thank you for commenting about how much you like the content, if there's anything specific that you like about them, about all the other formats, because I do a lot of formats on this channel. You can also share with me your experiences. I would love to hear about that, and how things resonated with you. Thank you for your subscriptions, because we need those subscriptions in order to, we need at least like 500 or 1,000 subscribers for me to be able to sustain this channel at some point. Make sure you watch all my videos, because watch hours count. Thank you for sharing my videos, spreading the word around them and about them. And yeah, I love you a lot. All right, Thank you for all your support as well. Let's do it, Saggies. Kiss, kiss.